Hey YouTube, this is Lisa. You're watching The Backward Glance, and today is October 8th, 2019. I'm back today with another What Sold Quickly on eBay video, and in these videos I'll share 10 items that I flipped within the first 30 days of being listed in my eBay store. This video is going to lean a little more heavily toward clothing and apparel than some of my last few videos have, but obviously, as you can see from this first item, it's not entirely clothing. Unless I state otherwise, the buyers do pay shipping for my items. And today I have two bonus items at the end to share with you, so stick around for that. So I'm starting off with just a small sale here. I picked up these razor refill cartridges for 50 cents for the pair of them. I got my full asking price on these of $9.50. That took 21 days. I didn't really comp these when I found them. Sometimes these razors can be really good money. I had a set in, I don't know if it was my last video or a few videos ago, where I sold like 6 packs for $100. So they're definitely worth looking into when you find them, because people get really attached to a certain razor and for whatever reason will sometimes pay a lot more on eBay for the replacement blades than it would cost to just find another razor. So obviously these ones not worth that much money, but razor blades are definitely a thing to look out for. And if they're cheap, I just buy them. And if I was going to pay up for them in any way, then I would definitely comp them and make sure that they're worth it. So just a small sale, but get some activity into my eBay store. Next is this dress, and the brand I had never heard of. It's called Betty Page by Tatiana. I'll show you the tag here. This was a very, very heavy dress. It was a wool blend. It was quite expensive to ship. It did not fit remotely into a padded flat rate. So when I saw it, I thought it had that pin-up look, and I did run comps in the store before I bought it. I paid $3 for this. I sold it through Offers to Watchers for $30 plus shipping, and that took 12 days to sell. Item 3 is a book, and it's pretty rare for me to pick up books. There are so many at every thrift store, and I don't really want to take the time to look through them, but I generally will always scan every section just super quick, and if anything catches my eye, I might take a second to look it up. So this book caught my eye. I think because I personally like books that kind of go through like old-timey techniques for doing things. I live off the grid, so sometimes I find that kind of stuff helpful. When I picked this up, I noticed that first of all, it didn't have a UPC on it, and then I saw, let's see if I can even get this to blow up enough. It was from askaprepper.com, so that kind of indicated that this book probably didn't have a ton of copies printed. Prepping is a very niche sort of market, so that can sometimes be a really good thing. I looked this book up and it had an amazing sell-through rate. People were getting 40, 45 bucks for it, so that was a good sign. I paid $1.06 for this, and I did sell it for $40. That took just 3 days. This is a brand I've never picked up before either. It's called Icelandic Design. It was a very beautiful cardigan. The embroidery, as you can see, was actually kind of dimensional. And it was actually more of a jacket. It had a liner in it, so I would think you would wear it more as a jacket than just a cardigan sweater. Here is the tag on this one. I paid $5.32 for this cardigan. I got my full asking price of $34, and that took 2 days to sell. Here's item 5. This is one of my favorite brands to sell. Does a little bit better in men's than women's. This happened to be a women's top. I will always pick up this brand if it's in good condition. Do make sure you check these shirts really carefully, these base layers, because they're thin and they can get little holes in them that are kind of hard to see. So I always hold them up to the light at a thrift store to make sure they're in good condition. Here is the tag. And I actually maybe could have done better on my title on this one. I noticed when I was shipping it out. So you see that the tag says 200, and people really do like to know those numbers. And for whatever reason, I didn't put 200 in my title. So that was a bit of a mistake on my part. I should have included that. This base layer I paid $4.21 for. I accepted a best offer of $28, and that took 9 days to sell. Item number 6 here is this Title IX cardigan. As recently as last year, I would have gotten probably a bit more for this. I'm finding that the prices of some of the Title IX is going down a little bit. I don't know if that's been your experience. I picked this up for $4.20, and I sold it through offers to watchers for $19. That took 28 days to sell. This is an older Title IX tag. I couldn't tell you exactly how old, but they have definitely updated their tags since then. But I find that their knit stuff tends to do pretty well, obviously, this time of year, so I still pick it up if I can get it for a good price. Item number 7 is this pair of Vans shoes. This was a collaboration with Disney. You can see that it's covered with little pictures of Minnie Mouse. These Vans collaborations that have characters on them are always worth looking up when you find them. Run comps. Some of these that were in great condition had sold for closer to 100. These ones definitely showed some wear, like you can see on the back. Wear there. Just in general, I did throw them actually through the washing machine, so they had a lot of life left in them, but I think they even were like a little bit separating there. So, yeah, definitely not perfect condition on these, but that didn't stop somebody from snatching them up. So I paid $2.10 for these, and I accepted a best offer of $40. These took 25 days to sell. They got a lot of watchers. I think maybe the condition issues kind of slowed it down a little bit, but I'm really happy with the profit that I made on that in the end. Next up is a tooled leather belt that had this embroidered belt buckle on it. So the belt itself was non-branded, but it was in really good condition. I think one of the snaps didn't work. Yeah. So the second snap didn't work. That is not really going to affect the wearability of it, but just kind of a run-of-the-mill tooled leather belt. I see these all the time. And then the belt buckle was marked Tony Llama, which can be a pretty good brand, and definitely showed some wear. You can see like a little scratching and stuff like that, but just a cool look to it. I paid $1.98 for this belt, and I got my full asking price of $28. That took 14 days to sell. Item 9 is a pair of shirts by a streetwear brand called Kith, and I was not really familiar with this brand. In fact, I passed on these shirts a few times at the thrift store, and then I finally decided to look them up. And this brand is not one of the super, super expensive streetwear brands, but definitely for just being two undershirts, I think is a little bit expensive. I think a pack of 3 brand new is about $90 from the company. You can see the logo here, and then they both had a logo printed on the side. One was printed in white and one was printed in, kind of a more subtle shade there. So just super basic tees. I paid $8.40 for the pair of them and got my full asking price of $38. Those took 19 days to sell. Here's item number 10, and then we'll do our bonus items. Eileen Fisher shows up in lots of my videos. I love finding her linen pants, and these were organic linen. Definitely an older style. Also, as you can see from the tag there, the newer Eileen Fisher is going to have a black tag with white writing. But I've mentioned this in other videos. Her stuff is so classic, it doesn't really go out of style too much. So if it's in good condition, I'll usually pick it up despite the age or the tag style or anything like that. So I paid $4.21 for this pair of pants, and I sold it through offers to watchers for $30. That took 4 days. So let's do our bonus items, and I'll explain why I have them in as bonus items. If you've seen some of my videos, you know that sometimes I like to share items that didn't sell fast or didn't do so well, just to kind of balance out and not have everything seem like it's super positive all the time, or like I'm always picking the best items or anything like that. So I didn't sell anything really super old within the last couple weeks, but I did sell this Tommy Bahama shirt that I have had for quite a while. I paid $4.25 for this shirt. It's linen. It's got what I think is a pretty cool pattern, but you'll notice it's a geometric pattern. It doesn't have any embroidery. It's not Hawaiian. It's not kind of that typical Tommy Bahama stuff that you see. There's the tag in case that's important to you on this one. So I paid $4.25. I took a best offer of just $10 on this after 9 months, and I'm just really happy to see it go. In the end, my profit on this was probably just over $2 or something like that. So this is not an item that I would pick up again. Be really selective with your Tommy Bahama, and don't expect high prices for anything that's not like super decked out. I mean, even the Hawaiian stuff, even the embroidered stuff, the prices have gone down in the last year and a half or so. So definitely be selective with your Tommy Bahama that you're picking up. And speaking of being selective, I wanted to throw this pair of jeans in there. This is a pair of Miss Me jeans. I liked the details on this one actually, the pocket detail with the sequin there. And here is the branding in case you don't come across these. Miss Me is popular in my area, and usually the thrift stores are charging at least $14.99 is like the lowest I see them charge, up to even $24.99 or $29.99. So I happened to find these at a smaller thrift store I don't usually go to, and picked them up for $6.30. I know that the price of Miss Me has dropped, and that's what I wanted to put this one in here for. If you don't find these often, you might not be aware of how much the value of these has dropped. I ended up selling these through offers to watchers for $26, and that took 5 weeks. When I first started selling on eBay, Miss Me could regularly flip for 40 to 50 bucks or higher. So if you're not a person who runs comps all the time when you're outsourcing, it's really important to be aware of the fluctuation in brands. Brands that are amazing can drop off really quickly. So this is an example of that I just wanted to throw in here. The thrift stores still think they're an amazing brand, and maybe they're having success selling them for $24.99 at a time. I'm not sure. But for eBay, you definitely want to be selective. You don't want to be paying up for Miss Me anymore. If you can get them for $5-6, maybe it's worth it to you. If not, it's going to be a pass for me anyway. So those are the items that I wanted to share with you today. Thanks a lot for coming in and watching. If this kind of video helps you in your reselling venture, please go ahead and subscribe. You can also hit that like or dislike button, and if you leave a comment, I will be sure to respond to it. I love seeing comments. It really helps me know that these videos help you out in some way. Thanks a lot.